I never get tired of it. I love the
good
little.
tune.
I love it.
It is a good little. We did good with it, man.
It's a good head bop.
Oh goodness. So, how's everybody doing? We doing okay? I can see the development grind wearing on you, Graham. You good?
Do I look disheveled?
No, yeah.
You look beautiful.
Thanks,
Don't
man.
let Tim
Look,
get you
I'm
down.
no. I'm sorry. I'm fueled on good what do we want to call this? Good drama, much needed.
Much needed. Okay.
Much needed. A release of truth. We need to find the truth. We get all this. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about all the game media stuff. But this is about Hopia. This is about Hopia, a glimmer of Hopia. We need a little Hopia in our lives, eh?
Well, and I think before you even
right
get
now.
too far into it, I think, looking at this is kind of a pure reason of why we're doing this ourselves, why we're trying to do it, the way we think it can work and be sustainable and beneficial for the community. It goes back to the old, I've been saying this for a while, especially within the GG collective, is, we can only control what we can control. So, we can't decide how any other entity is going to act when it comes to any project, but we can sure make something kick-ass ourselves and, try to bring as much value and, support to the community as possible. And that's, I think Hopia has gone through a bunch of name changes over the past, I feel like, year that we've kind of been internally talking about, okay, how do we have our own game token and what does that look like? How does that weave into what we're possibly building? And, now being at a point with how hard NFTD is developing, how, there's just so much going on that, okay, we can actually implement something.
I think we all have felt the feeling of not being in control, right? It's like it is a very, as a human, very hard feeling to deal with, where you've put your trust and money and time into these people that you thought were doing a certain thing, and it ends up not being that, and it hurts because if you could have just known back then all the things else you could have done in hindsight, it would have been different. But now I feel like it's pretty awesome to be the man in the arena, the ones, it's just our shot. It's our shot to do right by people. It's totally scary. And I'm a little scared sometimes to let people down. I love everybody. I want everybody to be happy and play our game and play NFTD and earn a bunch of Hopia and buy NFTs and all that stuff. So figuring out how to do that, we got it. That's what our whole point is. We've strategically built this to where GG Collective is a DAO where our community gets to help us build what they actually want, and we all get to build it together. So I think we have a bright road ahead of us. So
agreed.
Well, shoot, where do we want to take questions from? Anywhere?
Yeah, we should see it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do.
I'll keep my eye on the Discord. We'll see any YouTuber X posts will pop up internally. So
Earther, all we need is Hopia. You are correct, brother.
Speaking of it, what is Hopia? Damn, let's talk
Hopia. Let's do. What is Hopia, man? Let me get this out of here. Oh, let me see. All right. What is Hopia? Well, Hopia, like many others, we're all tired of having games and projects that we love get rugged and forgotten. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, seriously, like the point of Hopia is to bring in as many NFTs as we can and create an interoperable experience where you get to earn a game token with those NFTs from around the world, right? This is our first steps into kind of the Ready Player One kind of concept, that metaversal interoperable experience that I would say was the dream that made metaverses and Web3 all like come to life. Really, that spark. Watching the movie, seeing that played a massive part in it for a lot of people, and it made sense because, come on, we all have those. We all have a collectible that we like, whether it's Pokemon cards or, different NFTs, baseball cards, you name it. Like there's always those collectibles, and they all speak to that little piece, the little kid inside of us. And how can we get all those from around the ecosystem into one game? Well, this is our play. This is our chance at that, and bringing them all together. And we're going to start it out with NFTD, a non-fungible tower defense game. We want, this all conspired when, Fortune Crypto brought up the idea of NFTD and us using the Fortitude NFTs for it. And so we took that and we ran, and we're like, let's do it. Let's build a tower defense game using other NFTs. We're not going to use the IP of the NFTs. We're just going to use the token addresses of this, right? We have that power. That's the whole point of NFTD, or of NFTs. That's the whole point of blockchain, is they're there. They're on chain. We can all use them. They're ours. They're our pieces spread around to everybody. And we can read those and use those in our game without using the IP or any infringement or anything. So that's kind of where our base is with it. Now, at any point, anybody can ask any questions. I'm kind of wing it through these tokenomics because it's a lot. It is a lot, and I'll try not to.
I guess
nitty-gritty. You go.
Tim, there is also a difference between NFTD and Hopia.
Correct.
So Hopia
That's
is,
a good point.
I would say, bigger than NFT itself. NFT is definitely what we're using to bring in all those metaverse NFTs, so you can play your little game worlds. And Hopia is the coin we're going to use purely in NFTD. So it is our game coin or game token, but it's also broader and it's bigger because it's going to encompass more than projects than just ours. We're the starting point with NFTD, but then I think it like transcends us and becomes more of a broader ecosystem play token with GG Collective, right?
100%.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Great.
I almost see NFTD as like the flagship model use case for Hopia, because, NFTD is kind of our flagship game. It's what we're really dedicating ourselves towards building. It's our vision. So I think it's only fitting that, Hopia that's where it starts. That's its origin point, but 100%, just like how we're trying to be as broad as we can and including all these different NFT projects and things from around the ecosystem into our project itself. Similar concept of anything that wants to come be a part of the GG Collective. We want to try and find a working use case for, okay, how can we weave Hopia into this? Because that further, integrates the GG community into whatever that auxiliary game might be.
I think that's perfect breakdown of it, because yes, I did convolute a little some of the ideas. The actual bringing in of other NFTs outside, and those are your pieces to the game. That is specifically NFTD, right? But Hopia as a whole is about figuring out ways to bring in other ecosystems and games as well, not just NFTs per se. It is about bringing in possibly other IP. This is where it gets a little crazy, because we can do whatever we want through the GG Collective. The GG token holders can help be a part of this and help vote and make their voices heard. And which way do we go? What NFTs do we bring into NFTD? Stuff like that. It does open up. But we have to start somewhere. We have to get a really good framework built. And that's our goal with NFTD, is to make an absolutely badass interoperable tower defense game, possible RTS MMO down the line. We got really badass artists. Yeah, we're getting there. It's super crazy watching it just blow up in our eyes and see it happen, and it's getting to watch these badass artists make this stuff, and yeah, it's awesome. So all right, so let's jump into the basics of the total supply.
Yeah, I think just a high level overview of looking at, how do you get Hopia? What is that breakdown? What do those breakdowns mean? I think specific questions, that's why we built this. Hopefully this houses, enough information for people that want all those nitty gritty details. You can get this in our Discord. You can get it on our website. You can find access to this document. So, and obviously ask questions. If you guys do have any questions, this doesn't quite look answered the way I'd like to see it answered or whatnot, that's what we're here for.
Yes, I would say I am extremely confident, and I will fight for what we have written in this light paper. But what I love is people coming in and helping us reiterate and explain the concepts in the light paper better. So if you have ways to better explain it, or something is not understandable to you, please let us know, and we will figure out a way to make it make sense to everybody. That's the whole point. We want to bring in everybody, so we need to make it make sense to everybody, and we need to show the vision to everybody. Because it's a very intricate process to create an economy that's sustainable, but also open and broad enough to bring in other ecosystems and games. So to start, so when everything fully starts and Hopia is unleashed into the world, there's going to be the first 31% of the total supply is going to be minted, and that's going to go to a predefined location. So the first is 5% right off the bat to GG token holders. So the GG token holders are the heart and soul of the GG collective. They are an intricate part in the decision-making process. We need them in the game. We want some liquidity to start off so that Hopia is alive and well, and we want things being able to be bought right off the bat in NFTD. We want NFT. Here, I'm going to let my dog out super quick. She's whining.
We'll continue it while he's letting the dog out. Who let the dog out? Sorry, I had to do that. Yeah. So
all right,
we need.
Sorry. I'm back. He was right there.
I thought it was going to take longer.
Yes. Sorry. So we need that first 5% out in the world using. We need transactions happening. We want the GG token holders to be able to jump right into the game and play the game. That's why they're here. This is a gaming ecosystem. We're about the games. We want the holders playing the games. It's awesome. Then we have a whole 10% to future airdrops. That's going to be used to bring in new communities. This is where we're not going to make these decisions without the GG token holders. We're going to, slowly work that 10% in. That's going to sit there and be used over time strategically by all of us. We're going to get to make the decisions. Developer fund is obviously going to go to making the games that we're building, helping us stay funded, helping us keep working hard. The collective treasury 6% is there for safety for the GG collective as a whole. There's a various amount of ways we can use that. That will be voted on later on, or just sit there and be a nice savings account for the collective. And then advisors and partners. We've been working our ass off a lot underneath it. We have a lot of people who've put time and money and effort into this game with no reward. That 2% there is to help reward the people who have put time and effort in. And I think the 2% is very reasonable. So really right off the bat, only 5% is going to be in the circulating supply. Those other ones are going to take a while, and they're not going to go out until until it's very defined where they're going. We're going to be transparent about that. But that first 5% will go out right after the GG token initial funding round is done. GG token has been distributed, and then all GG token holders will get their proportion of that 5%, and they'll be free to have fun, play the game, release that, and spend it on whatever they want. Y'all got anything on that?
No, I think you covered that great. I think especially looking at things like the collective treasury and stuff, I think the collective's, kind of responsibility for any game that decides to come into its ecosystem is going to be, the collective has some sort of responsibility to help market the game, promote it, foster a community that's going to be viable and engaged with the product itself. So I think that's part of what, that potential treasury allocation could look like as well. Being able to use, like you said, it's kind of a safety net to a degree, but, if there's a case to use that to, broaden the reach, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to.
Exactly. And the developer funds, there's options for that too. Like, come on, we have a lot of builders. We want to build a lot of games. We have so many ideas. We're gamers, right? We want games. We love but can't, all the good stuff we want to be able to have things ready to deploy for that stuff. So
we have a question. Ed777 asked a question in the Discord. He said, I think I know, but why Solana and not Galachain for Hopia itself? Wasn't Galachain supposed to be used for all these things the paper listed? Graham did a great job of kind of giving at least, response in the Discord of, we'll be using Galachain to scam players' wallets for, the NFTs themselves in NFTD. But, similarly with the GG token itself, we're launching on Solana.
I want to make this clear. There's no real rules here. Like we're chain agnostic. We're allowed to read any chain we want. We're allowed to bring in NFT tokens from any chain we want. We get to choose that. Like we're not bound by one or the other. But then we're free, right? So now we get to make the right choice. What's the right choice? What's the best choice? And right now, Galachain is not the best choice to put Hopia on, but it's a great choice to read and be a part of the creator portal, read Gala NFTs and bring NFTs utility that don't have utility, that we wish had more utility, that we get to take those and recreate them in our own way.
Well, he had a follow-up of, wondering about the choice of Solana, all the benefits that Solana offers, listed in the paper are the same thing, Gala has kind of been saying that Galachain is, obviously I'm not here to talk down on anyone per se, I'm going to do what we can control, I'm a half glass full kind of guy. But I think kind of the key there is, looking outside, whether we know what's going on inside of Gala or not, Solana's been around for a little while. We've seen games like Star Atlas. We've seen that, there can be some transactional issues from time to time, but Solana as a whole is really beneficial for gaming ecosystems because of how cheap it is, how easy it is to use. And so I think more than anything else, that's why, there's just a track record we can look back on with Solana, and it's not as much of a gamble just because Galachain, if not anything else, is new. So I think that's kind of where that benefit.
And I think you said it there, in that it is a bit of a gamble to use Galachain right now. We just don't have the resources to really try it out. We know that Solana is going to work for us right off the bat. It doesn't mean we can't use it, like we're saying, to access NFTs or even later on to launch something on Galachain as a new token or some towers that we want to deploy on Galachain. That's 100%. Totally still possible. And we are very agnostic in terms of our approach. So if we want to choose, let's go Chainlink. Let's go even like a Bitcoin network. Let's see what we can do there.
I'm gonna if we want to be really honest too, they have been hard to work with on stuff. Like I have so many friends in Gala. We love so many people in Gala. We're working constantly with them, but it has been hard. We have blockers, right? In this world, there's in this development world, there's blockers and there's things that hold you back to where you can't push forward if you don't get those blockers filled, and there's all these unknown holes, and Solana doesn't have that for us, right? We can build on Solana. We have the full SDK. It's working. People are dropping meme coins left and right. And we're like, we got all these scammy coins getting released. No, let's go release a real gaming coin on a good gaming blockchain and knock this shit out of the park. And we can stay chain agnostic and add all these NFTs in and have the best of both worlds. Gala has said they want to be chain agnostic too. They want to work with others, so they should be open to this. We can always build on Galachain later when they get it fully knocked out. It's hard to build a layer one. It's hard to do all of this. So they need some time to get there, and maybe they'll get it one day.
Yeah. And, like Graham had said, we're not counting anything out. Like hopefully there is, the more the merrier is kind of how I look at it, because that's more community members we could possibly reach. So as that, hopefully keeps getting developed, and we'll see what gets worked out. And nothing's off the table, but we know Solana's here it's been working, so let's make it easier on ourselves. So.
Hell yeah. All right, now into the juicy in-game earnings. Now this is where I think this is where it gets really fun. We'll say that we want a true gaming token. We want players, like the core mechanic and way to get Hopia is in the game, playing, dominating, being the best, defending your fortress, surviving as long as you can, mining as much magic as you can, and then winning Hopia that way, right? So that's going to be the core mechanic. It's, the players are the ones in control of the ecosystem here. So the players are the ones earning it. They're the miners of the ecosystem. They're the ones who get to decide where it goes. We're not. This is a true gaming token. This is not. We're not doing the whole ROI thing. We're not doing, making our own liquidity pools and all this stuff. No, we're making a game where the way you earn Hopia is going to be very game-like. It's like going into World of Warcraft and earning gold. World of Warcraft has not done any shenanigans with gold. Gold is a database token in their game. They don't market it as a way to make money, but yet people go and make money on their own with gold, right? They buy and sell gold, and gold is just a normal gaming token. That's kind of how we want to make Hopia, but now it has the power of blockchain technology into it. So then players are free to do whatever the hell they want with Hopia. They can do it, no bars attached. We are in charge of making a dope ass game where you buy you earn Hopia by playing the game, being good at it, and then you have cool ass shit to spend Hopia on in the store. Super fun. Everybody can progress. But then there's always that open. If you want to go buy the NFTs on OpenSea, or you want to go buy a bunch of Hopia, you still have that ability. But who are you buying it from? You're buying it from the players. The players are the ones that decide and control where this goes. If a liquidity pool is sparked up, it was a player that started it. A player who was so good, he was able to earn enough Hopia or buy enough Hopia from other players to get enough Hopia to where they had enough to make a liquidity pool. They can do whatever they want. But our focus is creating a system with consistent earnings so that players have that real game feel and they have a real progression throughout the game. Boom.
Yeah.
Now, how that's going to work? Pretty simple. So players are going to play the game, and then we're working with NerdNode to create actual depend devices to then run the game, right? So those are the two entities that will be a part of running the game. The players are, the whole part of the game, but then they have to play on some servers, and that's where the depend devices are going to go to help run it. Now, that's going to take a while to build. We're working with NerdNode. Obviously, a lot of y'all know Forge Your Crypto. If we can pull this off and we get this going, it's going to be amazing, right? Like, if we are able to create a decentralized physical infrastructure to run our games on, we obviously have a lot of upside to that.
And it's less if and more when.
At this point, it's correct. They are
correct.
We have a roadmap of how we're going to build it out. I can talk briefly about that, and I won't go into the weeds too much. But just there's 3 phases to the approach of getting NFTD on NerdNode infrastructure for the deep network. And basically, we're going to have the client side stuff there first, and that's going to run on IPFS. So it's actually going to be available on everyone's nodes, not just it's going to be pinned to your NFTD nodes, your Nerd nodes, but it is all because they also run the IPFS infrastructure. So they'll all host our game. And then the server side stuff is going to specifically be put onto the Nerd node boxes. That's going to come as the second phase. And that's when we're server authoritative in the actions in game. And the third phase is moving the database from one central location also onto the Nerd node network. So what's cool once we get to phase 3 is that the entire infrastructure for the game is run on the nodes. So if for some reason we were to stop building it, the game is 100% still available. As long as someone can point like a URL to a specific device, you're good to play the game forever. We won't be in the way.
Yeah, and that's, we don't have to go too much into nerd node, but that's just kind of what they're trying to solve as a whole, right? Is looking at so much of blockchain is centrally stored. Like 50% of all blockchain is stored on AWS. It's like, well, let's do something. If we really want to be decentralized in Web3, like we we have the connections through the community to, build something that is decentralized. So we can actually have, like you said,
and this is
game
where
ran on this network.
like, from an investment standpoint, investing in GG token is an investment, and this is GG token's a part of all this. Think about, as an investor, the potential of an entire gaming ecosystem ran on a DePIN infrastructure. Like, obviously this is
It's huge.
but this is the problem, the ethereal problem that all these companies have been using, right, or trying to solve. It is hard, and we believe that we believe that we're doing it. So I'm excited to see where that goes. All right, that was good stuff, Graham. Thank you. That helped me.
Cheers.
As well.
I'm your data guy.
You are good.
Before we go, I want to just, we kind of touched on this already, but Punjab brings up a good question, or a good statement, and I think this is kind of aligned with the vision we have already of looking at Pixels has been wildly successful just because of how big that adoption is, in terms of we don't have to create all of our own NFTs per se. We can tap into the community and provide an awesome experience that draws them in, and that's no different than, I think, kind of the core reason why we created this the way we created it, right? Was, there's all these NFTs out there that are somewhat dead in the water or just currently aren't doing much. Well, let's give as much utility as we can within what we're doing and try to tap into it. So yeah, I think that's directly in line with what we're thinking, and they are a great, they've been very successful so far. So I think it is, something to look at for sure as, okay, what steps did they take to make sure they were, positively reinforcing those communities rather than, Remora attacking them or whatever and just stealing everyone away and being like, no, this is dead. You're with us now. I think there's a way that you can lift each other up while lifting yourself up as well. So.
Hell yeah. Ed had a question in the Discord. Said, so initially all nodes owned/hosted by NerdNode, but then once people can buy a NerdNode box, that's when the community can have a node, ? Or can we run a node from the beginning at NerdNode or on our own?
Yeah, I think without getting, too far into the NerdNode side, because that is more of like the deep network NerdNode side specifically. The sale, so at this point, none of those devices are distributed. This summer, there's a plan to do like the actual hardware sale itself. And then at that point, that's when, as a community member, you could, invest in the deep network by purchasing a box and, earning rewards through hosting that node. If that answers your question. If you have more questions on, we have that might have been a little alpha on a DeepIn project.
Oh, is that
Anderson?
Anthony called you out? No, that's different Anthony.
But yeah, I don't. That's NerdNode. I don't want to get too far into NerdNode. We were more just talking about. This is how we envision trying to partner with them and utilize the awesome things they're building to support our game. So
right. All right, enough leaks about them. We got Well, all right, now so
nerdnode.io, check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, when they launch their nodes, not financial advice, I do recommend picking up at least one because it's going to be great.
Well, you're investing in us. Where
there you go.
That's good. Yes. Yeah. That's for the
that's whenever Nate starts talking, I gotta throw it up because I
love that.
That's good. That's your croissant.
Exactly. Yeah. This is not financial advice.
All right.
Actually, before you move on from that, I'm sorry, one more thing. So actually, I have a question for you guys because I don't know the answer to this. So before the node network comes online, what's going to happen with that percentage? Because ideally, this coin should launch before.
I think we need to talk about that.
Okay.
I talked about it with Drew. It's obviously okay. Does the 10% go to us for running?
I think that's what I was going to say. Yeah, because I'll be paying for all this.
Exactly.
So I don't have to pay for all the servers for this. So
So if I think that, we think that.
I think what it would be, my opinion on what I think the best thing to do, most fair thing to do in that sense is, hopefully that. Will cover obviously the cost of us hosting this. And then at the same time, maybe it's greater than that value, maybe being able to put whatever that extra is out, net the cost, into some sort of, separate account or whatever that's there for community development or
Right.
some way to give back to a degree. I think that is something we need to talk about though. And that's a great question. How do we do that in the meantime? Do we want it to be in some sort of escrow type thing? I think there's a couple different ways we can go about it.
I agree. Yep. We'll think that out and run that by everybody. So it will be transparent about what we end up doing. Cause I think it would make sense to in some way fund the servers that we're running on for now. And then once we switch over, the node operators will be taking on that burden and we'll switch over. All right. So this spend distribution is essentially the economic flow of when a player comes into the Hopia store and they spend something in Hopia in our ecosystem. They buy an NFT, they buy magic, stuff like that. So when a player spends Hopia, 50% will be burned right off the bat. And that 50% will decrease the circulating supply by that amount. So essentially those tokens don't exist anymore. They do, they're on chain, they'll be in a burn wallet, but those tokens will be gone from the circulating supply. And therefore that will be implemented into the logarithmic function that we have that controls the mining rate of Hopia. So as players spend or as players earn Hopia, the mining rate increases. And as Hopia gets burnt, the mining rate decreases. And therefore our goal is to create tons of awesome stuff to buy so that the spend stabilizes. So therefore the burn is about equal and we get to a nice sweet spot. This makes our goal as developers very, very simple. Not easy. It doesn't make it easy, but it's very simple. We have to make a really fun game and create tons of compelling NFTs and mechanics to spend Hopia on. That is what a fun game is. That is literally a fun game. Make a something to earn, and then you have things to spend on. It's easy peasy. That's our goal with that. Now, 30% goes to leaderboards. I'm an esports guy. I like competition. I push for that a lot. I like good, healthy competition where I'm going to figure out a way to make leaderboards fun. That's the goal here. How can we make leaderboards awesome? And so 30% will go to funding the leaderboards. So that first 50% is going right back to the players, and that this next 30% is going right back to the players in two different mechanisms, right? That 30% of the leaderboard, that right there is meant to, really push towards the skill players, right? There's a bunch, there's grinding players, and then there's those players that have skill. And if you have grind and skill, obviously you're going to earn a little bit more. That is basic life, right? That's basic mechanics. So that 30% is going to go to really enhancing the leaderboard so that skill players have something to get skillful for. There's a reason to be really good. Then the last 20% is what we're gonna live off of, right? There's 10% that goes to the GG Collective for costs, and then there's the 10% that goes to the devs. Now, I view this as our creators' fee, right? We do not make money, or we do not make Hopia, not money. We do not make Hopia as developers and as creators until the players decide to spend it, right? The player has to earn it, and then they have to give it to us and said, hey, you made a good enough product. You made a good enough NFT, a good enough game where I took the time to go earn this Hopia, and I want what you made. And then boom, we have trade there. We have supply and demand. We have real economic principles coming on here, and a real barter system. Now Hopia is an actual, economic token. It has real life to it, and we're trading back and forth. That's the principles behind the spend distribution. Yes, I view this model as believing in ourselves.
Yep.
I view it as we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're not going to make money until we've made a good enough product for players to spend on. I think that's how it all should be. I haven't enjoyed the model of players spending thousands upon millions on the infrastructure of a game, and then they continue to get maliciously sold to or predatorily sold to over and over again, and they're not earning, and then on top of that they earn a token that then doesn't have value in the game because you can go use other tokens to buy it with. It doesn't make sense to me. So here we are. Hopia's got real purpose. That's my TED talk on that.
There was a really good question from Ed again in Discord. Just to be clear, the part of the spend going to GG Collective is going towards the GG entity, not the GG token holders. Is that correct?
Ooh, that is kind of, it's both.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a twofold question in terms of, that will go to the GG Collective, and then all revenue that comes through the GG Collective will be go through the GG split, essentially, where from that point this is just another piece of that revenue pool, so of that 10%, I'd imagine north of half of that would end up going to the GG token holders themselves as far as revenue is concerned.
I think once we get the base, once we have, because we're running as a company or as a DAO, whatever, we're trying to make revenue, and we're going to have our base cost, and then whatever happens after that base cost, that's what gets distributed to the GG token holders. So a part of that 10%, yes. Now at the very beginning, not a lot of players, right? Revenue might be low, costs are high. Yeah, maybe none of that 10% goes to the GG token holders at first until we ramp it up enough, and then next thing you know, all of it could go. Who knows how? We're working on a bunch of revenue streams as the GG Collective. So,
yep.
Boom. All right.
Speaking of NFTD,
NFTD.
Oh, actually, I know you're doing NFT stuff. So this again, this is Hopia, not NFTD.
Yes, you're right.
Mining is kind of specific to NFTD because you would literally mine for resources. If, for example, let's say Vox Battles, just to throw another game that I'm working on, was to go through the same channels here, what would mining look like for a game like that?
Right. So you have Battle Royale. I could see it being a bit of an extraction shooter, right? Yep. You have those gold coins already in that you run around, and whoever, you're collecting the gold coins during a normal Battle Royale game. Whoever ends up winning, they could get all of the gold coins / Hopia that they've collected. Boom, they extract it out. They're the winners. They're the ones that get it. Boom. That is that is mining right there, right?
You got it. Great. Just wanted to make sure that was on video too for the people.
You got it in there.
The other games.
I think it's so project dependent, right? Depending on all the, looking at, or like the racing game, right? I mean, you could have it where, top 3 finishes, you get 5 Hopia for winning, 2 for second, and, 1 for third place. There's every different play style. I think you can work in, a gaming token that has, somewhat utility.
Graham, in that Vox town hall, major malfunction literally goes, "Oh, I want a Vox kart game."
Well,
I'm like,
maybe they'll get one.
Do you actually want one?
Do you
actually want one? Because we have given you one.
Check your Google Docs.
It's right.
They already have the document.
Oh no, not that one. Not that one. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh goodness gracious. All right. So, well, shoot. What do we kind of broke it down pretty good right there. We'll do we have some about governance. So we got a lot of, there's some time in between before real governance gets to go in, right? We're still in the middle of our funding round. GG token has to be distributed, right? And governance wallets or governance set up. And then we have to implement it into the game, right? So our plan for NFT for now, right? Just NFT for now, is that GG token holders will get to vote on the next NFTs that get brought into the game, right? So we want to get the game to a spot, get a really solid base foundation of the game, and then get on a cycle. We want to streamline that system where maybe it's once a week. You go in, you got 3 towers to pick from, you vote for that tower, and then boom, it's, we take that tower and we poof it into the game. We design it.
It's that easy. You just poof in the game.
It's just drop of the
hat.
hat.
Hey, I'm not designing the towers anymore. It's that easy for me.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes, no more.
Yep. But yes, so we'll take one at a time and build those into the game. And I think that's going to be, I'm super excited for it to get there, because then who knows, we'll be bringing in so much, and people they get to bring, dude, like you have your favorite little project and you get to kind of campaign for it and vote for it and watch it come to life in your game, and then get to use your NFT that you've been waiting to use forever. I mean, I've created an emotional connection to my NFTs. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't think I am, because of how many mad people I see, but but like, I love these are my Pokemon cards, kind of like I've collected these. I want these things I'm fighting to bring him in. I've been trying to bring all types of stuff in, and Graham keeps getting mad at me. So
it's a lot to build.
It's a lot to build.
It's good though. No, but he's good. He's keeping us on our toes. Actually, I will say that Tim's been really good at getting that competitive element into the game. So he's the reason there's leaderboards. He's why it's so fast paced. So you esports players
you're going to throw that on to me?
Yeah.
No, you're the one making it hard. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I'm making it hard to beat you. That's all.
Yeah, you're doing that. I see what you're doing. Oh,
just so the game will win.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's see. Any questions around Lust Gaming? Yo, how we doing? Let's see. A little off topic. So
I think, something I want to, just because there is, we talk about, anytime we're talking about towers, we're talking about NFTD. We're talking about, and, we know this is the Hopia light paper, but, because of, like we said, this is kind of our starting point within a starting point, there is so much commingling. So, this will grow outside of being such an NFTD focused document as this, ecosystem continues to grow. But going off of that, I think, I know we touched on it a little bit, but I'd love to just hear, Tim, you talk a little bit more about, how so you mine Hopia in NFTD. What do you mean by that? How does that mining work? Like, can anyone come in and mine it at any point? I think maybe just touching on that a little bit will also kind of just provide some clarity on, well, how do the players go and get it? I know if you're good, you can get more, and if I play a lot, I can get more, but what's that mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So So basic overview of NFTD, the game right here. So you jump into NFTD, it sets you in the middle of Galoria. Galoria is the universe that we're creating. And the entire metaverse and universe is held together by magic. Magic is the essence that holds the molecules together. It's the the defining physics of the world. So you step into this world, and there's a battle between all the ancient races over the gates of Galoria. The gates of Galoria are what hold the center of the universe together, the metaverse. Sorry, that hold the center of the metaverse together, and it's where all the magic, where you pull magic out of, and you pull Hopia out of. And so there's this pretty much ancient battle going on where everybody's warping. So the gates are kind of like portals, and you're warping through the gates of Galoria, battling each other, charging. So a system you'll become familiar with is charges. You'll be charging your celestial crystal that powers your cosmic isle. Your cosmic isle will be your base, your home base. It's what everything is going to be built on, and it's like your ship. If this was more of a spacey game, which it kind of is, it's a futuristic sci-fi fantasy-esque game. But if it was more like space, this would be your ship. If it was Echoes of Empires, this is your home base, right? So you have your cosmic isle. In the center of your cosmic isle is powered by a celestial magic crystal. This is then protected by your fortress. Your fortress is what uses that power and harnesses that power and protects it. So then when you charge your celestial magic crystal, then that will in turn start a match. And during that match, you're going to mine as much magic as you can. And there's a mining throughout that whole match. You have a chance to earn Hopia while you mine. So the more magic you are able to mine and pull from the gates of Gloria, the larger chance you have of getting Hopia. Then you take that Hopia and you buy artifacts and a bunch of other stuff. At first, it's going to be artifacts, and the artifacts are from the ethereal elders, and those are your towers. Those are your tower pieces. So we'll have two mechanics. You'll be able to buy a bunch of cool little tower pieces with your Hopia and use those in games, but you'll also be able to use all your interoperable ones that you've brought around the ecosystem and mesh them all together, and you have a fun interoperable tower defense game. What do we got? So this will expand a lot. We're in phase 1 right now. We want to get the base game out. At first, our plan with NFTs is obviously, like I said, we're just going to sell tower artifacts to start off with, really basic. And then for Magic, we want to sell Magic bundles. This is like the gym of the ecosystem. There's going to be a lot that it goes with, but at first the main mechanic is going to be repairing your buildings. So, you can load up on a bunch of Magic. You've earned a bunch of Hopia. You're battling on that leaderboard. You're like, man, I got to spend some Hopia to get some Magic so I can heal because Mega Mug is a beast. He's got 2,500 score. He's dominating everybody. He's better than the devs at the game. I couldn't get as high as him last week. I'm pissed. I let him beat me, and I'm mad. So I got to get in.
Sounds like you didn't let him beat you.
Whatever, dude. Whatever, man. I need to test more. Okay, that's my problem. The balancing issues. All right. No, I'm just kidding. but like, all right, I need that little extra oomph. So I'm gonna buy some Magic, and I'm gonna help repair my towers so I can just last a little bit longer. Boom. That's how we're kind of seeing it. Magic is magic, right? There's ways to earn Magic. You can earn it through time, or you can earn it through spending that Hopia. So that's kind of what it is. And we're going to build out the leaderboard more as well. So any other questions on that, Blake?
No. So I think, I think that little picture, describes it. Scroll up just a little bit. I think the little, the graphic we have really describes it best. Use a charge, mine Magic, earn Hopia, and buy NFTs. So it is just kind of a cyclical process of, how do you get charges? Well, you can buy them with Hopia. You get them automatically. Being a GG token holder, being a part of the GG ecosystem grants you benefits. And one of those is, I can earn in game without having to do anything else, or you can earn the charges because we want free to play players to be able to come in and benefit as well. So doing in-game activities like daily missions and weekly events, gives you that option to come in and earn without being invested in the GG collective or something of that nature, because we want to be inclusive and have as little barriers to entry as possible. So this is kind of our idea of how we can do that, but still create, a process of you got to do the work to be able to earn it. So we're not just this is kind of the anti-bot system, right? We don't want random bots and bad actors to come in and extract all the value from the game and take away from our community. Now, are we gonna we're not putting in honor scores or anything like that to limit players' ability to come in and earn. But so instead of doing it kind of on the back end, we're trying to do it on the front end in terms of, what if you only get so many actually earning opportunities? And to do that, you have to perform actions that would be harder for, someone that's multi-accounting to come in.
It's just the no participation trophy, like logical way the world works. You got to earn it. Right. Yeah. You just don't come in and have free money. It doesn't work. You got to play. You got to play the game. You got to spend time or money. That's how it is. So, yeah, I think genuinely the charge system is there as a healthy mechanism to protect the integrity of the game. Right. Any free to play player, if you're a real person, we're going to make it to where you can come in and earn your charges for the day and get your Hopia and climb the ladder and work hard. Right? We'll have cool weekly events to do it. If you're a real human being involved in our our social ecosystem as well, like involved in our community, watching our stuff, we want to do charge codes. think that's so simple. Like we could have charge codes to creators. All the creators in our ecosystem could give out a charge code, watch their content, be a part of the content that they're putting out, and boom, you're rewarded with 5 charges. Boom. So yeah, I think it's, and this also gives us a way, like, there's a lot of investors that are going to want, it's,
a lot of the people coming to the GG Collective are gamers, and they're people
Right.
in this space. We all kind of got here from the same, initial mindset of, oh, we can own what we're playing with. Like that's intriguing. We like the concept of blockchain. And so I think leveraging that in terms of, well, we know our community is built of players. So, there are some people I imagine that are coming in just as investors, but we hope people want to come in and be as engaged as possible, which is exactly what giving those GG token holders charges. That's what that does.
Yeah. There is another question that popped up on the chat again from Ed. Thank you. Is only the top of the leaderboard rewarded, or does the last place player get something as well? And there's 2 phases to this, I'd say. So you can earn Hopia 2 different ways. So you can play the game and just earn it by mining. So having your magic extractor in there will at some point get you some Hopia. So that's kind of for everyone. But then if you're really, really good, that's where the leaderboard distribution kind of kicks in. I don't think everyone on the leaderboard, depending how big that leaderboard is, going to get some. Tim, do you have thoughts on how many people will get that?
I think it's totally up to the spin distribution, right? Like,
yeah,
like how much are people spending? How much? Like, honestly, I want the leaderboard, the entire leaderboard ecosystem, to be a spot where that's one of the places where we bring in other games as well. As in, it's a Hopia leaderboard system, not just a NFTD. Right. And then the NFTD leaderboard that's a part of that Hopia leaderboard system, that would have its rewards, right? And yeah, it's going to be skill based. That's the skill based. But think about it. It's 30% of the spend. It is not the main mechanic. You going and playing the game and playing a normal tower defense game, jumping in, using a charge. Like, if you do your daily missions and you earn a charge, or you're a GG token holder and you have your base charges and you go and you use that charge, you're going to earn Hopia. Or you obviously have to place a magic extractor while you're playing.
You have the ability to earn Hopia.
You have the ability,
You have the ability to earn Hopia. And as smart game designers we are, we want everybody to earn Hopia that uses a charge. That's why we're using 21 billion, because we all like number go up, right? We like that the dopamine rushes. We want to be able to buy stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to make it to where you can get in there and earn if you play the right way. Then if you're a badass, that's where the leaderboard goes for. That's where we want, that's the entertainment. That's watching the guys that are monsters play. Like, that's kind of, I view it as the professional athletes of the ecosystem, making that type of thing. But we do want to make it in a way where everybody can, at least they see a way to get there, right? They do feel like they can get there if they put enough time and effort in. Boom.
Last thing I'll say on the leaderboard side is, I think it's variable as well. I kind of like the model of, the top 10 to 20% of competitors get paid out. That way it's, if you have 100 people, okay, yeah, maybe it's top 10. But if you have 5 people, if you have, 10 people, well, maybe it's the first 2, first 3 or whatever. I think it can be somewhat variable, but I don't just want to say it's the top 5 or the top 10, because what if there's 10,000 people? I think you should maybe spread the wealth a little bit more and have it, obviously that's weighted with positional like rankings, but I like the idea of having it be more kind of percentage based rather than just it's going to be this number. But.
And we can put a function in that spreads it out based, like that's whatever our base amount is. We could have it from, go all the way down to 1 Hopia right at the very bottom. We could do it that way, but then we're not, like, I would say take Hopia out of it as well. We have so many other prizes for the leaderboard system. I view the leaderboard system as an entire system that we want to, push and make money off of as the GG Collective together. This is kind of a place to put billboards and advertisement and partnerships. Like, look at what we did with Vox. Like, we made a Vox tower. They gave us 20 common Vox lands to give away in our leaderboard, and we gave away the top 20 people got a Vox common, or are going to get a Vox common land. I think that's cool. That's a lot of opportunity to work with others and be friendly, and like we're doing right now, right? We can give away NFTs. We can make NFTs. We can make cosmetics, right? We can do a lot with it. Obviously, a lot of work to put in, and we want to do it all. And that's where the GG token holders come in, because they can help us just decide what is the best, what the community wants. What do we want to build? We only can build so much at once.
Yeah.
What do we want to build now?
Well, I think that's another possible aspect that, because this is going to be, there's some control the GG Collective has in the vision. Maybe it comes to a point where they're like, well, we want all these awesome things. Like there's all these projects we want to bring in. We want to expand this. Maybe the GG token holders say, hey, we want to provide more of a budget for this team. We want to hire on XYZ, or we think if we bring in another developer or two, we can take this to the next level. Those things are all, that's kind of the beauty of why we're trying to create this the way, is so that, those are all options that can be happen as long as it's community driven. Or maybe it's us proposing it. Maybe we're like, hey, we could really take this to the next level if we allocate an extra X amount of dollars towards this budget, and then give you guys the say of, are we doing a good enough job? Are we providing a product you think is viable enough that you want us to do that? And then give you guys that option. So rather than just making that decision on our side of being like, well, no, we're taking this money that we said was going to be done for this, and we're going to go explore this whole brand new realm of entertainment or something. We don't want to be going that route.
It's probably more transparency in this game than you've ever experienced in any other game.
For sure.
That's cool.
And that's the goal. I mean, that's the cool thing about, that's the reason I like blockchain and stuff, is I like making sure, people are doing what they're saying they're going to be doing. We can track things on chain. We can see these transactions. And so, that's something that we are, it's at the forefront of our mind, is making sure we're as fair and equitable to our community as possible. And that's how we build something long lasting. So
Gingerbread Man said, hey, good work, GG Collective. Keep up the good work. You are in the GG Collective as a community member. I'd love to hear your opinions first to optimize growth. You're just also developing things. Haha. That has actually been how we've been building a lot of things, Gingerbread Man. Because this is a DAO, right? It's been weird for us all. Like, we want to work with everybody, but then there's that weird centralization at the beginning of anything where we were putting in the filings, for the SEC, making the business, putting all those hours in, working, but all of it has been to create a system that can run on itself, right? How can we put all the pieces in place where we're doing that, and then work on our own systems we created in a decentralized manner? Because once everything gets released, we have advisors and all that. Like, we have our departments and advisors that are underneath everything. We could get voted out. We've created a system where we could get voted out and if we're not doing a good job, and then it can run on without us. And then after that point, how do we build, right? How we could still be community members building within the collective. So that, I agree, like that's kind of how we have our mindset, is we are community members at first. We have, all of us are friends, and we all met from the community playing games together.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we all started. And we're like, hey, let's build something together. Let's do this together. And then we can find a way to make other people in. And how do we make sure that our voices are heard, because we're tired of our voices not being heard, but then we want to protect everybody. And that's kind of how it all came to fruition.
I think that kind of answers Ed's question a little bit. Like, he was asking the Discord as well, like, what's the differentiation between the GG Collective and the developer itself? And I think that comes down to kind of what you were just saying, is, we're building this as community members, and we want this to be a part of the GG Collective. but the GG Collective doesn't outright own what's being built right now. So I wouldn't classify them as the developer. They're more of, that community
Correct.
hub that we're trying to utilize to build this to be what it can be. But
Exactly.
there is and one last thing I want to touch on what you were just saying, Tim. And it's not even as much as we can get voted out. It's we have to be voted back in, as far as, looking at not necessarily with NFTD is concerned, but looking at like the GG Collective, right? Like if we're going to be filling some of these advisory roles, that will come up for election in 12 months. And you don't have to make a motion to try and get us out to resolve something, right? That seems backwards and counterintuitive. Rather, if we're doing a good enough job, well, you might want to put us back in that place of power again. But if not, you don't have to do anything special. You don't have to impeach us to get us out. We'll be out in a year if you don't want us. So,
well, shoot, man, we're at the hour mark. We got any last questions? Anybody? Well, and Gingerbread Man said, I think we need to get somebody on the books. Well, that's what we got the blockchain for, baby. We got the eternal book right there.
Oh yeah,
it's in there. No, I'm kidding. We're working on all that, getting it ready. Well, shoot, man. Any closing thoughts? I think I'm talked out.
You did a great job.
I hit my limit right there.
I appreciate everyone that's come and ask questions. Ed asking great questions in the Discord. Gingerbread Man making great comments here. I think I appreciate everyone being here and giving us your time. Make sure if you do have more questions, keep firing them at us, and we'll answer everything to the best of our abilities.
Hey, look, we're trying our best to be open books, right? So, I mean, we'll live in the Discord if people ask questions enough in there. Like, ask us questions, bother us about it, and then if you don't, we're going to be working. That's how I like it. If you're not asking us questions, and we're going to be working on NFTD or the site or getting everything together. I mean, we got cool shit coming in Star Atlas and Nerd Node and Bodhi and all this shit.
No shortage of
yeah, we got the ultimate cyclone coming on all at once, so it's good.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, all.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Adios.